Let me go ahead and tell you, hey y'all, happy Sunday, April 27th is today's date. Let me go ahead and tell y'all, nobody is coming to save us. Nobody is coming to save us. Let me make that clear. There have been warnings coming from CEOs of major corporations saying that we could see food shortages, empty shelves, as well as increased prices due to the tariffs and the trade policies in the next upcoming weeks. What does this mean? This means that we're going to see 2020 all over again, probably 10 times worse. If you give me the warning, I'm going to take it. The writing's all over the wall. Let me add that once it hits the news, 9 times out of 10, that means that it's like 10 times worse than what they're telling us. One thing that you can do to help your family through this is shop store sales, shop your weekly circulars, look for digital coupons. Something else you can do, start your own garden. This is not the year to put it off. Coming from somebody who has put off gardening for the last several years. Dollar Tree has seeds. There's no excuse. They are $1.25 now. As you can see, these are for $1. That just tells you how long ago I got these. They can be kept in the freezer, which this is where they have been for several years. You need to be growing your own like yesterday. Also want to bring this to your attention. The government does have underground bunkers that are stockpiled with food. So if that helps you out, to let you know that they are prepared and on standby. That does not mean that that food is going to be shared with you, but just to let you know, they do have those bunkers. We are living in unprecedented times, and we have to do what we can for our families because nobody's coming to save us. Let me know what your store shelves are looking like in your area. Let me know if you're seeing any.
Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, honor, and power that's due to Yahweh. Ba'ashim Yahweh Shabbat Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, those who rule well and who learned this truth from. Salutations to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth in all sincerity and diligence, risking both your lives and freedoms to do so. Shalom to the rest of the elect as we all await the second Exodus coming quickly by the hands of Lord Yahweh Shah. This is your brother Kagabar. All right, it'll be coming at you with a lesson, all right, entitled Desperate Times, all right, will lead to desperate measures. All right, desperate times will lead to desperate measures, man. And, you know, that's pretty much the point we're at. Okay, you know, those major warnings have went out, you know, by, top CEOs, you know, from Walmart and these particular major companies that in a matter of 2 weeks time, you know, if there's not a solution to the tariffs that, you know, is placed on China, we're going to be experiencing empty shelves, man. You know, shelves will be empty. You know, they're going to have to mark up prices even more. And they're saying in a matter of a couple weeks time, and that's when that's going to be realized, because I believe it takes, you know, nearly a month, you know, from those goods, okay, those containers to get over here from, you know, that part of the world. And on top of that, you have it to where China has sent, I believe, over 200,000 empty containers over here to America. Okay, matter of fact, let's pull that up real quick. Showing you this is a switch in what's happening, man. All right. 200,000 empty containers. Okay, no, these countries are no longer fearing America, man. All right, because this place don't got the power no more. All right. Okay, let me see if I can find that. It says the situation involves, and this is the AI overview, the situation involves a surge of empty shipping containers from China, potentially leading to product shortages and empty shelves in the U.S. This is being driven by factors like increased tariffs on Chinese imports, cancellations of U.S.-bound sailings, and port congestion in China. The impact extends to both importers and U.S.-based companies, with some exporters even choosing to abandon goods in transit to avoid losses, man. All right, and the number, you know, I seen that, you know, they were going into was 200,000, okay, shipping containers that were empty. Yeah, you see these videos, okay, 200,000 empty shipping containers from China, man, meaning what? Those goods, those products, okay, are not making it over here. And on top of that, you have Chinese-based companies like Shein and Temu. Just as of recently, all right, they're going up on their prices, okay? They're going up on their prices, man. So, you know, I played this video because, you know, yeah, you can prep to a certain degree. You can do these particular things, but, you know, without having a Heavenly Father, man, hey, you people are going to start resorting to desperate measures, man. okay? And it's gonna get bad out here, all right? And it's gonna happen suddenly, all right? Because at the rate that they're saying this shit's gonna happen, man, it's about to catch a lot of people off guard, you know. And this shit could hit all around the time of summer. You know, you just had it with, you know, Double 7 just went into it. There was a massive blackout power outage in Paris, I believe, you know, France, okay? Power went out, you know, and they're blaming it on some type of atmospheric issue, you know, dealing with the weather or some shit along them lines. But, you know, hey, major shit is happening, man. Okay, and we're in them uncertain times to where people are now fearing what's coming on the earth, as scriptures say. Matter of fact, let's grab that. You know, and this is going to lead to a whole lot of a lot more chaos, okay, in these streets, man, very soon. Okay, this is Luke 21 and 25. It says, and there should be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, man. And we've been seeing those signs like clockwork, okay. Literally last year, you know, you had the total solar eclipse. I believe it was in April, the total solar eclipse. And then come out this year, you have a total of three blood moons to occur. You know, we had one that occurred on the Passover, you know, on a Shabbat, you know. So we already been having them signs, man. Okay, the solar eclipse that X'd out America. Okay, so these are all indicators of the end of the end times, man. It says, and upon the earth, distress of nations. Okay. And that's what we're experiencing is distress, because really what's causing it is this financial switchover, man. Okay. There's a current reset of the financial system that's causing everything to be in an upheaval, man. Okay. Prices going through the roof, economies falling, stocks crashing, you know, nations at war. See, okay, yeah, man. These things are gonna these things spell out the end of this current age here. See that? It says, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Yeah, the hurricanes and natural disasters. It says, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, the powers of heaven shall be shaken, man. You know, and that's exactly what's happening right now, man. People's hearts, okay, are failing them for fear, because of the uncertain times and how bad things are getting. Okay. And it's not getting any better. Okay. You have a proud, egotistical, narcissist, a maniac in the office, man. You know, that, you know, he's putting tariffs on everybody, and whole time it's like self-inflicting wounds on America. And every time he put these tariffs on these countries, man, that's a stab. All right here at the homeland, man. You know, for meaning you Americans are about to suffer in less than fewer words, man. And really, it ain't no amount of prepping you can do to safeguard from this. Okay, they said I was watching another video. I was watching another video. It said 40% of Americans have began to stock up. You know, something along them lines, man. You know, in the wake of these terrorists, people are panicking. And she said, I think this was this video. She said, you know, it's pretty much like going to be way worse than what happened in 2020. Yeah, man. And you can already see that. You know, what was going on in 2020, people was fighting over toilet paper, beating the shit out of each other and shit, freaking out, you know. Well, how much more so now? Okay, and these little mom and pop shops will not survive this time around, man. You know? All right. This is 2nd Ezra 15-19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. See, people about to crash out. Again, desperate times will cause desperate measures, man. You know, some of the your fellow you know, good neighbor that, you know, you go out, you see outside walking a dog, you know, walking a dog and shit, mowing a lawn. Hey, the spirit about to hop on them without being able to get food and shit. They about to crash out. They gonna go right to the nearest source, which is gonna be your shit. All right. Okay, and it's gonna be a lot of death and violence, man, very soon. It says, but they shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So this famine, all the shortages of all these goods that's suddenly about to hit. Okay, whether or not it be in 2 weeks, we stand to see. Lord's will it do. Okay, this is the effects of these trade wars. Okay, so we gonna wait and see, man. And ultimately, we've been waiting for these times, man. But things are actually happening to where, like I said, China, sending over these empty containers and threatening to do this and to do that. Hey, it's going down. So, this is why we try to keep our house in order. All right, because this is suddenly hit, and you won't have any time to you won't have any time to try and go and get what you need because it's gonna be too damn late, man. All right, yeah, but I grabbed that because these times are gonna cause people to turn on each other, man. Families gonna turn on each other, friends gonna turn on each other. All right, imagine, think about how a lot of you people, you go 12, you go shit, you go 5 hours without food, you ready to fucking crash out. Yet alone 12 hours, yet alone a couple days, a few days. Yeah, man, it's gonna get real bad out here, man. And what was going on in ancient Israel, there was a siege, which was pretty much, being surrounded by the enemy, resources cut off, and they were looking to eat each other, eating the children. That's coming back. Matter of fact, let's grab that because I do have it pulled up. This is 2 Kings, and these are them desperate measures, desperate times, man. 2 Kings 6:25. Okay, it says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and a fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. They having to buy shit. So, and this is gonna, this is really a fitting judgment for you proud ass Americans, man, who can't nobody tell you, can't nobody tell you shit. You've never experienced, you've never went through anything, man. So America's becoming third world, and people about to suffer. The only ones who are going to be making it through these times are the elect, man, the Israelites, the elect of the Israel. That have been serving the Heavenly Father to the best of their ability, man. When you read in Job 5, and whatnot, scriptures speak about, the Most High, keeping us from these times, man. All right, Psalms 91, we're going to be good, man. Okay. All right, we're going to be good. And you've always had the accounts where, the men of the Lord that Yahweh Basham Yahushua was dealing with, the elect, made it through in times of famine, or have food brought to them, whether it be by a raven or an angel or, a person, the widow. There's several accounts, man. We ain't got to figure out how it's going to happen. It may, and she mentioned bunkers. We may stumble across these bunkers, man. Okay. That these these people got thinking they're for themselves, and really they're going to be for the elect. Just like in that movie, Leave the World Behind, that little girl, she stumbled across the bunker because she was ultimately led by the animals, I believe, by the deer. She ended up coming across the bunker that was abandoned. Well, that wasn't initially her bunker. Her parents didn't buy that motherfucker, man. Whoever had originally bought it, they ass was probably deleted. Nowhere to be found. And she stumbled across a bunker that had everything in it, man. Those things are going to be happening for the elect. Yeah, man, it says 2 Kings 6:25, it says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help, my lord, O king. And he said, if Yahweh do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Yeah, because if the Most High puts you in these times, man, the king of Babylon, king of America, the president, no, they're not going to be able to get you out of it, because whole time they're the ones who've brought these times upon this place, man. So a lot of you people that's been seeking to the government for help, seeking the white man for help, he's going to show you his true colors, man. They're the ones doing this shit. Newsflash, man. Wake the hell up. See? And really, the only way they're going to try to give you a way out of this is forcing you to take that shit, man. You want a way out of this chaos, this coming chaos, the shortages, the war, the famine, the pestilence. Can't forget about that. Hey, mosey your happy ass on down to the nearest rehab center near you, okay? And take that man's mark, man. That's what a lot of you people are going to do. Desperate times, desperate measures, man. But it says, and he said, if Yahweh do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, what aileth thee? And she answered, this woman said unto me, give thy son that we may eat him today, and we may eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. That's pretty much the point. She played her. But I wanted to grab that because, they had to make a decision to eat their children. Okay. You see, cannibalism, man, which is coming back because, you people haven't experienced going without food, man, for periods of time. That's about to happen. That's why scriptures say many of them that dwell on the earth shall perish of famine, man. See, so, that's really the point. It's about to get very, very bad out here suddenly. 2nd Ezra 6:22 tells you suddenly shall the sown places be unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, man. And lo and behold, there are things happening in the world right now dealing with trade wars and tariffs, actual hot wars, etc., which shows and indicate why and how that's about to play out. Okay. So that's really it, man. Hey, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Bashmiel Shah, Bashar Kakadash, DTA Wa Baba Ball, Shalom.